Alright, so you're watching some training clips from Friday, March 4th, which was a deadlift and bench day for myself. The program called for 490 for 3 sets of 4, but being a meathead, I rounded up to 495 because ain't nobody got time for change plates. Also, if you take a look at your subscription feed, you probably also realize it was the weekend of the Arnold Sports Festival in Columbus, Ohio. You guys know how I feel about expos and conventions in general, but that being said, I really like how they've been evolving over the past couple of years. So the Arnold a couple of years ago was the Arnold Classic, and its big draw was it was the precursor to the Mr. Olympia bodybuilding show. And while it still is the case, I have seen that the focus have shifted to include other sports, hence the name changing to Sports Festival. So there was a big thing with the strongman this year, as well as the USAPL and some other powerlifting type events, which of course is going to draw my interest. So obviously being someone who competes in powerlifting, I like to pay attention to just see what other people are doing, and plus I just enjoy watching it. But it was also cool because in this particular event, there were a lot of people that I've gotten to know over the past few years through YouTube and other social media, so it was really cool to see how they were doing. In fact, during this actual session, you can see my iPad here is hooked up. I'm watching the females compete, so watching some people like Meg Squats do a really great job was just really motivating for me as I was lifting myself. And even though the USAPL gets a lot of flack for how strict they are, I know some people don't like some of their rules with their governing figure of the IPF, I do really have to commend them for providing this very high quality stream live and also providing some great entertainment. You guys saw that Gino was announcing, anyone who watched. Also, if you watched the very first day, they had this gentleman commentating who literally reminded me of Jim Ross from the old school WWF. Yes, my friends, it's gonna be a slobber knocker. But in all seriousness, I think this was a big weekend for powerlifting in general. I hope it continues to get the push because, again, obviously something I'm interested in. Hopefully you are too if you're watching this channel, because I don't think many of you are watching it to hear my commentary or see a 35-year-old man in spandex tights, but you never know. But talking to the average person, I think it's still very far from mainstream. Most people think powerlifters are these big, fat, unathletic, bearded dudes who wear a lot of gear and don't really do much. But in reality, if you were to watch this weekend, you will see that there's a ton of athletic and aesthetic people just doing some pretty amazing things. So I hope that trend continues. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, one of the things I don't want to see continue is me forgetting to turn off my camera between sets, because then you're stuck with shots like this, seeing me in my natural habitat, hunched over on a bench, playing on my phone, updating social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever the case may be. And that's why if you follow me on social media, you get a lot of pictures of my feet and my legs and my shoes and my socks, because this is usually the position I'm in. But while I'm here, I might as well update you on what you've been seeing. So after deadlifts, moved on to bench. My top set was a set of 4 at 280, and then was supposed to do 2 back off sets at 265, but my dumbass misloaded the bar to 270 instead, so I went heavier. And now you get to see how entertained I am here by the actual lifting that was going on my iPad. Look at that face. Look at that face. I can't even explain it. I'm just kidding, I can explain it. So one of the things that I was so interested in was seeing how strong these people are relative to their body weights. So for this competition, you had to actually qualify by having at least a 430 Wilks score. And for those that don't know what Wilks is, it takes your total of your 3 main lifts and also factors in body weight to give you a qualifying number. So just for some perspective, my best meet ever of a squat of 540, bench 340, and deadlift of 620 at a body weight just under 221 gives me a Wilks score of 414. So that means even if I wanted to submit an application, I'd have to increase my total by about 57 pounds, which is a lot for a little guy like me. And even if that was the case, I still might not get into the competition because they sold out within the first 5 minutes. So there's a lot of strong people out there. It's very encouraging to me. Hopefully you guys got a chance to watch as well. But that's going to wrap up the video. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.
Yeah. I'm